My name is Jes Stephens and I'm originally from Wales. I'm running an organisation called Culture Vultures, currently set in Sefrou in northern Morocco. And I've been living in Morocco for 8 years. Previously I lived in Barcelona for 8 years. I studied fine art painting and now I'm running and directing Culture Vultures. I moved to Morocco to set up Culture Vultures. It was very much a personal mission, if you like, something to feed my soul and challenge myself. Also in a time when there weren't such things as artist residencies, there seem to be a lot more now. I was on a wave of many other people that were thinking the same thing, I think. But certainly something very stimulating and exciting and new for Morocco, and also something that amalgamated everything that I was interested in doing on a personal level, which was hosting and bringing together artists in a new culture, in a new environment for them, but also for me. So something that I could challenge myself and learn and absorb. And share that with artists that came in. I think I was very lucky in meeting the right people along the way who gave me the tips that, of course, now it's so obvious, but in a small town such as Sefrou, the only way people are going to find you is online, and after that comes word of mouth. But I think primarily people are finding us online, and I was really lucky to meet two key people. One was a professional blogger who was a friend of mine, became a friend of mine, and the other a website designer, and they both encouraged the idea of just to start something electronically, even if you haven't physically started the residency, that you build something up, which was great for Culture Vultures and also for the community and people that were interested in culture. So we set up Culture Vultures as a platform that was sharing information in English on cultural activities that were happening in the area. Something that still doesn't exist apart from Culture Vultures in the Fez region. There are Moroccan-based cultural magazines, if you like, or gatherings of information, but there aren't anything that's based in Fez, which is the region where Sefrou is and the artist residencies. So we started that way. The sideline benefits were that I started also to know a lot more about the network, and that was really important and really vital for the artists that come now, is that we're much more plugged into what is going on locally and nationally, but more so locally. We're very much aware, and information now comes to us, and it's a network that happened originally electronically and also then happens physically afterwards. And of course it moves, it means our site is constantly evolving and moving and sharing information. When I first moved there, I was looking for art openings, the art scene, the gallery scene, the fine art scene, and the all sort of definitions of what I was used to coming from a city like Barcelona, looking for the openings, as it were, and the happenings, and realized very quickly that I was looking for something that didn't really exist in Fez. And so that's when I turned around and became much more aware, and now it's so obvious, but much more aware of the artisanship in the region. So what is happening creatively, what is happening artistically, and as far as workshops are concerned, there's an abundance. There are 30 to 40,000 artisans in Fez alone, and so that's when I started turning around and going into the workshops and meeting the artisans, and then realizing that there was something there to share with people. So we started it as a tour to connect visitors to Fez, tourists to Fez, and connect them with the artisans. Really in the sense that the artisans and their skills and the way they work and their approach is ancient, and yet at the same time they're very hospitable and open to people coming into their workshops. And I think often we're plugging into the pride of the artisanship, because people are looking at the objects and not so much at the skills behind it or the people behind the skills. And so we're really about connecting people to people. And that's fed our residency ever since, because a lot of it is connecting artists with artisans, whether they be contemporary practitioners or designers or something from a more classic background, connecting them with the artisanship seems to be the obvious thing, and plugging into the culture of Fez, as it were. I mean, it's known for that. It's a capital of crafts. Then beyond that, of course, it's also connecting with the community, which is a really key element for us, and that's happened very naturally and very organically and very obviously, which was something that wasn't in the business plan before I arrived in Morocco. The whole idea of the community being so hospitable and open, and really the resource that there is the community and the people of Morocco. They're the ones that hold the culture as much as anything else. I mean, the collaborations that have built up, I think, have happened very organically, and sometimes you can propose things to people, but it's really about a personal warmth that really makes you make the next step. And there are a couple of residencies that Culture Vultures is collaborating with, one of them being Café Tizamine down in the desert, run by Karen Hadfield. And we have a total connection on a personal level, and I think that makes such a difference because we meet on a personal level, and that in itself, it's very difficult with a small entity such as Culture Vultures or Café Tizamine to separate the personal from the professional. I think that both Karen and myself feel very much like that we personally are our organisations, and we're, whether the organisation is us, but we're definitely the organisation in that sense. And so I think meeting up on a personal level, that has helped and grown and modified itself into collaborations on a very natural level. The same with Green Olive Arts, and also with the same structure and the same, we have the same issues and challenges as well as the same parallels that we can draw. The artists that come to us are English speaking. The English is the common language, and so most of the artists demographically will come from Australia, America, New Zealand, Holland, Europe, Britain. It's unfortunate that it's a struggle for second, third world country artists to come and get the funding. It's even more difficult. It's the same phenomenon that it is in Morocco for Moroccan artists, it is for other African artists. There isn't the funding to come. We're too small to be able to offer free places at the moment, and so what we would like is to have places for Moroccan artists or African artists, for example, and at the moment we can't financially afford it, so we're hoping to be able to stabilise that and then have 1 in every 6 places is a funded place. That would be the ideal. It's great for everyone. Obviously, you're not going to do it until you can stabilise yourself as an organisation with your own sort of economy. We're working alongside the community. We're connecting artists with artisans, for example, or we're connecting artists with community members because they've got research that they want to do, or certain collaborations. And then there's also the community at large of the artists that are living around, the people that they're buying their materials from, or they're ordering things from carpenters, or there's that sort of collaboration. And it didn't take very long for that community, the immediate neighbours, to understand what was going on, or at least to break down their preconceptions that these people were not tourists. Why are they walking around with tools and nails and not buying souvenirs, of which there are very few to buy anyway in Sefru? That's part of the reason why we chose Sefru, because it was a very ordinary town with not a lot of tourism in it. So they're very accepting. We have open studios, we have open house. They come, they engage. It's been fantastic, and I think also I like to think that as much as the community is giving to the artists are giving back to the community, because there's a whole now new understanding of what art can do in a community, and also what it means to be an artist. Because in a small town in Morocco where there are no art schools close by, I think the definition of what is an artist, or what was the definition of what is an artist, is changing. Originally it was a musician or a painter, and now people are understanding that it can be a lot more. It can be, and I think we even haven't stretched the imagination as far as it can go, and that's constantly evolving. But definitely the vocabulary of what is art and what is an artist is opening up.